Hi guys, this is part two of how to start your business from home and grow it into a very profitable business. Just to start off, before I get into the tips and steps and things that I've learned along the way, the one thing about owning your own business is that you need to be a self-starter, that is for sure. You need to be motivated to do it yourself, to be open to learning. If there are things you don't know, you need to get in the habit of asking questions. Researching Google has become a very big part of the success of our business because if you don't know, there are things that you can find online, resources that'll help you. And the great thing is, you know what you don't know. It's kind of my philosophy. If you don't think you have an answer to the question, there's always a resource that will help you find it. So before you start any business, you need to be a self-motivator, self-starter, an independent thinker. Entrepreneurs are kind of a different type of person than someone from the 9 to 5 world. I worked retail for almost 20 years, so I realized after that period of time that it was not something I wanted to stay in doing anymore. From that point, you need to also be aware of the challenges of when it comes to doing certain types of food businesses, that you're going to have to jump through some hurdles and some hoops when it comes to getting yourself licensed, inspected, following specifically the rules and guidelines set up by the state, and whether it's a local agency or if it's a federal agency. On a state level, everything is kind of inspected by the state. Specifically, every town is different. So when you start a home-based business, that you're doing stuff such as candy or baked goods, when you start very small and you initially do it, it's okay to kind of not know what you're doing in regards to all the answers for the guidelines to set up a commercial kitchen, the licensing, the insurance, and all that. So if you're not familiar with it, that's okay. You can definitely find out about it, like I did. But they do have state by state. Everyone is different, and even on a local municipal level, in your little town within the state, everybody's got their own different rules and guidelines. So before you start any type of endeavor of opening a business, you need to make sure that you're in it for the long haul. And find something that you really enjoy doing, something that you're passionate about, or at least something that you have fun doing. Because if you're doing something that you don't enjoy doing, you might as well stay at your 9 to 5 job and not risk anything and not step outside your comfort zone or take any calculated risks because it won't be fun and you'll end up probably getting yourself financially in a bind. But once you find out something that you enjoy doing, do it. Just pursue it, go after it, and never think to yourself for 1 second that what you're doing is not something that is not going to get other people to buy it, whether it be a good or service. If you're making something, just know in your heart that people are going to buy it, and then just go after it. Don't second guess yourself. Just ask the questions you need to ask. Find out what you're passionate about doing, and know that there are people that will pay you to do it. Period. With it obviously being candies and such, there's a lot of creativity that you can come up with, really unique products, unique flavors, compositions, flavor profiles, all that stuff. And the market is so big and the market is just so large that there's room for the small guy, even though the big guys have a lot of the market share. Snacks, candies, food products, they're always looking, the industry as a whole is looking always for new flavors, new packagings, new everything. If you can come up with a composition of a flavor that's not been done before, and it's a baked good, you'll find a niche, you'll find a market for it. As I said before, the U.S. alone is about a $30 to $40 billion a year snack business. So there is room for everybody. You got to just initially find something that you enjoy doing. Very, very key. If you don't have fun doing it, don't even bother starting. This can be applied to pretty much anything, even outside the world of food and snacks. If you want to start an online business, the entire world is your doorstep. And when you have a brick and mortar business and you don't tie in some type of online sales, you're really missing out on a lot of business that you can potentially be making. It doesn't make a difference if you're selling auto parts or if you're selling used clothing. If you've got a thrift shop or a thrift store and you don't have an online presence somewhere, you're just missing out on a lot of extra potential sales. When we had our retail bakery, we started to tie in our online business and it began to take off. Now we are fully online, selling directly to our customers. Um, the beautiful thing about the way our business works now is that customers purchase products from us. We don't have anything sitting around waiting. We always make it fresh to order. So that way you eliminate a lot of waste or additional product that you pre-make, and then you cross your fingers and hope that somebody comes through the front door and sells it. But when you sell it online, it's just done deal. People pay for the product up front, you make it, ship it to them, and you move on to the next customer. So in this type of a business with baked goods, or if you're catering an event with like wedding favors or party favors, it's fantastic. It eliminates a tremendous amount of waste. It doesn't tie up as much resources as a brick and mortar or retail location does. You just simply fill the order when it comes in, ship it out, and you're done. So in the series of videos I'll be offering, I'm going to give you some tips on how to use social media to grow your business, some resources for places for shipping supplies. I can tell you where you can find great quantities of shipping supplies, everything that you need to ship a product. I'll even show you how to package it so it doesn't break. That was a that was a lesson that we've learned the first couple of years on how to properly package stuff. Everything from pretzels to cookies to candies, you name it. There are different ways that you can ship them to ensure that they don't break, which is hugely, hugely important because you obviously don't want to ship something where it breaks, gets cracked, busted in a whole bunch of little pieces, then your customer wants their money back, and it becomes a big problem and it's not profitable. But if you do it right and you do listen to the techniques and tips that I will give you, pretty much I can ensure you that your product will get to the customer safely. As I mentioned before, we've shipped to 15 countries, from Dubai to Australia to the Netherlands, all over Europe. We've shipped to Canada, some parts of Mexico, and South America. So the next video will be the first step. It's going to be covering the licensing, how to get yourself set for the licensing and taxing, sales tax, state tax, and all that stuff, to get yourself started. And then we'll move on to some other topics, from the methods of shipping to how to ship internationally, how to also handle customer reviews. When you sell online, you do obviously get feedback from customers, and they're not always great feedback. If you expect to get 100% positive feedback on everything you do all the time, don't bother opening an internet business because you're not going to enjoy that part of it. But every customer does have an opinion, every customer does have a review, and honestly, you should look at every single review as a good thing, even if it's negative. And there are ways to handle that too. If someone does not enjoy something, or if it arrives and it's not what they expected, there's always a way to just make it right. And if you do that, you will consistently stay in business and grow the business. Because even if there is a product that a customer gets and it's not what they expected and they leave you negative feedback, you can turn that around and turn that into a good experience, not only for yourself, but for the people that receive the product. And you want them to tell their friends, and you want them to tell their family, and of course buy from you again. So there's ways around that, and there's ways that you can address it professionally, and of course to do it the right way. So I will see you on the next video. Thanks.